are you doing? Good evening. And now launch of a brand new one-day special. And it is a brand new one-day special, Tim Holtz alcohol inks. But before we get into details, yes, it is a one-day special. Let me tell you about Flextravaganza, the event that we are running. And it means that everything above £5, you can split it in interest-free payments. And that means that it's easier to get. So whatever you see on the screen, as long as it's above £5, you can just pay half today and half the next month, which is going to be February. Well, anyway, before we get into details of what we are going to get, even we have to introduce the one lady that is going to tell us how to use them. And of course, that lady is Lou Sims. Hello, Lou.
Hello, how are you?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Did you have a nice Christmas?
A quiet Christmas, slight change to what we had planned, but no, it was good.
It was good, wasn't it? I think I have to say that everybody so far have said it's different, it has been quiet, but it has been lovely.
Yeah, I mean, I've got older children, so we're quite used to having Christmases by ourselves as well as Christmases with them, so...
It is, absolutely. Well, but talking about something lovely and something really exciting, and I know how much you like, well, Tim Holtz first started, and of course, alcohol inks.
Alcohol inks, yeah, I do love alcohol inks. I think they're one of the things in the distress range that are overlooked. I think people think they're a lot more complicated to use than they are, and they're not versatile, i.e. you've got to use them on set mediums, and I'm hoping through the one-day special shows we can show, well, not hundreds, but lots of different ideas of how you can use the inks with actually stuff that you've probably got in your stash already. I mean, that's on glitter card.
Well, the thing you just mentioned, and this is why I grabbed it, that is versatility on what you can use them. Yeah. And you have made this amazing sampler of different mediums.
That's on pumice, and we would normally mix that with an acrylic.
Yes.
But I've actually used it. Alcohol inks work on a non-porous surface. So now we've got the pumice, which is grey. That's pumice on black.
Wow.
So you can use all your different mediums.
So am I right to think this is pumice medium? So
pumice medium,
yes.
Yes.
So if we have got any, for instance, I'm a massive fan of golden mediums, so you have got a huge range there. Yeah.
We can use, absolutely. That is pearl medium. Wow. And the pearl medium there has got little glass beads in, and because it's a non-porous, it will colour those as well as but we get extra gloss as well from it. That is on clear gesso, so that's the black card from the 7-Day Saver.
Yeah.
Clear gesso background. So I've done it so I left an edge so you could see the original black card.
Yeah.
And then that's using the alcohol inks on top. Mirror cards.
Which always works a beautiful thing.
And that's textured card that's got
foil.
like a coating. It's not even foil, no, it's like a speciality card that's got a coating on the top.
So as long as it has got a coating in it, whether you have applied it with mediums or whether it is actually like a CD or DVD.
I mean, that's a CD, so it's on the plastic and the metal there.
You weren't very fond of the music then?
No, I don't think I've got a CD player. Now, that there is a piece of watercolour card from the 7-Day Special, and that you were talking about, that is gel medium.
Yeah.
Gone through one of the Dina Wakley stencils. So the watercolour card has soaked in all the alcohol ink.
Yeah.
But then I can still do all my alcohol ink techniques on the gel medium because it's a non-porous surface.
Indeed. That is just genius. And of course, then you can do it onto different surfaces, like here, medium.
So that there, I've just put texture paste through, and then I've covered it with clear gesso. So it's all, and then use the ink so they've travelled on it.
And of course, you have got the Yupo paper, which is one. Which, by the way, the Yupo is available to buy on the show if you wanted to.
So there's two different. There's a translucent Yupo, and then we've got and then we've got the normal white Yupos.
And then, of course, you have got here acetate on acetate as well. So
on acetate. But I mean, I've got a demo coming up. Might not be later on tonight, where I use the gel medium with the acetate with the alcohol inks, and that gives a really cool effect.
Ooh. And then, of course, a metal. Craft metal.
I mean, I've done that flat, but if you've got an embossing folder, emboss it first and then put your alcohol inks in, because then you could leave the raised embossing on top.
And then we have got 3 more. But anyway, we're going to leave them here.
I did loads, sorry.
Because I need to tell you exactly about what you are getting in the one-day special. You are getting alcohol blended solution. You are getting the 2 pens as well. I own these pens, and they are fabulous.
Well, I do. I mean, they are fantastic on black, white card. They work on top of the alcohol inks as well. You know, the white it stays there. They look absolutely beautiful. So you can doodle with them. They've got a nice fine nib, but then you can also do quite a thicker line as well.
And you can do splatters
as
well.
Yeah, because obviously you shape them and you can,
Exactly, indeed. But then the alcohol inks themselves, so we have got them at the bottom of there. So we are getting the mixative. We have got here the gold, so you can see. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna just kind of. So we have got the gold. Then we have got the gorgeous. We have got here. What is this color? That one is botanical. And then we are getting aquamarine, then we are getting indigo, and then we are getting sunset orange. All the colors perfect for landscapes.
Yeah, all beautifully, but they still work together because you don't have to blend your inks together. I mean, I've used a paintbrush on a piece of Yupo and just dipped that into a palette and just doodled a design, whereas those are the colours from the One Day Special. And you know, you can mix and match them as much as you want, sort of thing.
Absolutely. Now, of course, the mixatives have got the metallics. £29.99 is your price. You have got an £11 saving. Also, 10% of the stock has already gone, and we are not even 10 minutes in the One Day, the first hour of the launch of the One Day Special. 807035 is your item number. Moving on to well, the Stress Oxides. Crackling Campfire. Am I right thinking is one of the latest releases?
It's beautiful. It's not red, but it's not orange. It's got a real lovely warmth to it.
Terracotta? It's a
yeah, it's not quite terracotta either, sort of, but it actually works with some of the other colours beautifully. I used it with Seedless Preserve, and you wouldn't think those two would actually go together. But it is beautiful. And the tumble glass is a nice contrast against it as well.
It is. It's very refreshing. It's a very earthy, fiery colour with a very kind of serene blue in here. And also you are getting the distress marker, water-based marker in Rush Say Hinge. £13.98 is the price. You're saving £5. 659641 is your item number. Then we have got the alloys next in here, which we have got. Now, alloys are a little bit different from mixatives, aren't they?
Yeah. Alloys, so the mixatives are actual metallic powder, whereas the alloys are metallic leaf.
Okay.
So the mixatives are designed to mix and react like an alcohol ink would. So, but the alloys are a little bit different. The alloys are designed to create more different types of effects. They clump together. They want to stay together. So that gives you a chance to use your blending solutions and move them around and everything. So they create more of the veined effects that you see, whereas the mixative, if you use too much, can create too much of the one colour.
Well, if you want to go for this, the gilded, the mind and the statue, £15.99 is your price. £6 saving. 770201 is your item number. Then we have got a set of a specific 4. We do have got a pick and mix, so I just want to mention that there's 2 options here. So the first one is to go for a set of 4. Now, perfect colors for landscapes as well. Beautiful. So we have got the peacock feathers, which is a beautiful blue green. Then we have got fray burlap, and then we have got bundle sage, and then vintage photo. Distress oxides, of course, that is a mix of
pigment and dye.
But water-based as well. £20.04 with a saving of £10. 675741 is your item number. I just had to have a play with the rearranging of these ones. I always kind of rearrange everything because I love rainbows, but they're always starting at yellow, so you can see exactly that. For instance, between mustard seed and squeezed lemonade, there is kind of a slight difference. $11.99 gives you any 2. So, for instance, go for, what would your recommendation would be, Lou?
When I started out, I actually went for colours I could make other colours with, like, you know, like mustard seed and mermaid lagoon, because then I can make a green.
So mustard seed is a bright yellow. Then you could go for, and then you can go maybe salty ocean, which is a pure blue, or mermaid lagoon, which is below it. But you can see that. So that you can see mermaid lagoon. It's more of a, it's a vibrant blue, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really vibrant, but it's got a different slight undertone to it as well. So you can create different, like for the green, you can go from really dark to really yellow green.
Absolutely. Shabby Shop, there's been our director's favorite. Now, bundled sage as well, you have got in there. You have got the beautiful grays into ice spruce. Sounds like a cocktail, doesn't it?
Ice spruce, yeah. But I think that's an underrated colour as well, because it's a grey-green, but it's a really nice background colour.
Absolutely.
You know, and then you can stamp on the forks, but you can create some really beautiful backgrounds with it.
Absolutely gorgeous colours in there. And of course you have got the vintage photo, which is one, I think it was vintage photo was my first ever distress ink that I had with distress. Not that it is, it's the first one that I got. Then of course we have got beautiful, like I love the pink raspberry, that's one of my favorites, that bright pink. So whichever ones you want to go for, have a look at the website. We will go through them a little bit more detailed, very busy. So if you want a specific colors, please make sure that you check out your baskets, because we don't know if some of them are going to sell out and then we will have to take them off, and you don't want to miss out, do you? $11.99 is your price, saving £3.03. 814591 is your item number. Moving on to our alcohol blending solution, mixative and alcohol linked ink. Now, what is about the alcohol lift ink?
Okay, we've always done or tried to do ghosting techniques with alcohol ink using archival ink. You know, you put it on and you try and then rub it away really, really quickly, and it lifts the alcohol ink. This is a felt-based pad that has been designed specifically to lift alcohol ink. But what is brilliant is what you lift off on your stamp, you can then stamp off onto another piece of card. I mean, on the back, the instructions on the back of that ink pad couldn't not be any clearer in helping you what to do. I know they're tiny, but basically it lifts the alcohol ink off, and then you can take that alcohol ink and put it onto a non-porous surface and get a beautiful stamped image. But then it leaves a beautiful ghost image with your alcohol ink. Now,
if you want 20% of the stock already has gone off this bundle. If you wanted yours, well, the number you need to code is 770271, £17.99. And of course, having the pearl mixative in there is such a glorious colour, isn't it, to mix it with? It is, and
it's totally different to if you've got alcohol pearls, because it's a white pearl, but an alcohol pearl, the mica is the same colour as the alcohol ink. So this is a slightly different one, yeah.
Absolutely. Right, and then we have got also the alcohol mix and pick and mix. Now, look at this glorious range. You can pick and choose whichever two you like for £10.99. So, for instance, you have got like different yellows, you have got greens, different blues, teals, aquas. You have got reds, pinks, browns. Now, it's your choice, of course. I always say, because it's a choice of two, I will go with of course, the option that Lou was saying, going for a yellow and a blue, a darker blue, and then go for another option would be a red maybe, and then go for a brown or something like that, because you can mix them and matching them. Remember that you have got, you know, all those different options, warmer yellows, greens, aquas. Go for your favorites if you don't have, or if you are like many of us, we have got quite a few of them. If you want to finish your collection, you complete your collection, then go for whatever colors you don't have. £10.99. Speaking from experience, alcohol inks last so long. 115316 is your item number, and jump ahead to the website because there's a lot more. And remember, Flextravaganza means that you can flexify anything that is above £5, and I believe everything in the show. Well, no, there's a couple of things that might not be, but you know, there is everything that we have seen so far. You can, it's about £5, so you can spread the cost in interest-free payment. You have got, of course, things like the heated Ranger tool, which is a really fabulous heat embossing tool. Then you have got the Yupo paper, and we have got the 4-inch hexagonal shape Yupo paper that comes with 10 dilutions media papers as well. And you have got, of course, all those mixed media beautiful elements in there. Right, and of course, this is the launch of the one-day special, the Ranger alcohol inks. Now, I need to tell you that the Distress Oxides are really the pick and mix are going very, very quickly. If you have got specific colors that you want to get, please do check out your baskets, because what happens is that there are are going, and there are so many that there are many of them that will get out of stock. So please make sure to check out your baskets. Right, Lou, take it away.
Right, so I folded. Well, I did make a crease in my card. This is Yupo paper, and I just wanted to show why we use the blending solution with our alcohol inks. You don't have to, but why it helps. Now, alcohol inks are dye-based, they're translucent. Yes, there are things about smell, so work in a lovely ventilated area, but, you know, we've got the aircon on, we've got a nice ventilated area, but they're nice colours. So if we put on one side, I'm gonna start again. Put my new teeth in and start again.
Well, you know, when you just go, my world. Welcome to my world.
Because I'm racing ahead in my head about what I was going to do with the demo. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. I mean, you're preaching to the converted in that respect.
Oh, that's few. Right. So what I was going to do, one side, I'm just going to put down the blending solution. Now, blending solution, for want of a better description, is colourless alcohol ink.
Is basically the medium that is suspended?
It is, and it will lighten, it will help the alcohol inks travel. It's also got the resin built into it, which helps set the alcohol inks and gives that glossy, you know, to it. It's also needed if you're using the mixatives and the alloys. And the main reason for that is some of the mixatives and alloys, if you don't use some of the blending solution or you don't seal, they can rub off and they can leave a slight... so the gold would leave a slight gold tinge on your fingers. And that's why the blending solution came about, really. So this side has got loads of blending solution. So while I was talking, I was letting it travel. So what I wanted to show was if I used how the inks work with blending solution and without. So I'm just going to go and... I've got to go for turquoise, sorry.
Ooh.
You know, I love it. So if I put it on there, so the alcohol inks will spread, as you can see.
Yeah.
If I put it on the blending solution, it spreads that little bit further, but it starts to dilute the colour out just that little bit more. Yeah. So I'm just going to put a couple of drops on. Now, it is spreading, so you can now choose, do you want a really fluid look or do you want a slightly more controlled look? So now, with alcohol inks, the last one that's put on is the one that's a bit like jazz hands, you know, hello, I'm here.
Yeah.
And it's the one that wants to come, you know, stand out the most. So it will gradually push the others away. Now, the mixative has got a little ball, you can see it all at the bottom there, and you've got a tiny ball bearing, and we've just got to wake it up and shake it. It does take a while. And then you'll hear the ball bearing going, this is me smacking, and
oh, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to have one pre-shaken, so it makes it look, it does work, or just whack it on the table. Now, the mixative, you only need a tiny little bit, because what the mixative will do, like a normal alcohol ink, it wants to take over.
Right.
So if I put a tiny little bit of mixative there, it will spread slowly. Now, I've only put a tiny bit because what I want to do is I'm going to use a blower, is if I mix it in, and it will travel.
Oh, yeah.
But like a normal alcohol ink, it's the last one there, so it wants to be the one that stands out the most. If I put a little bit, where have I put it? I always put the lids back on my mixatives. I don't know why, because you have to shake them. Yeah. If I put a little bit on here, it's going to gradually push the other colour out. And then you can blow it. You can use your heat guns. I'm not very good with a heat gun.
By the way, we have got cues on the front. If you have got access to and the internet, Hochanda.com will be the fastest and easiest way to order, or alternatively, the app for your mobile devices. Sorry, we're very busy.
So I'm going to leave this bit here for the moment, and we can then use blending sponge because we've got the felts on there, and we use the felts because it's easier to actually move rather than the foam. So the liquid sits on top of inside the felt, and actually you get more use out of your felt. I don't throw mine away, as my pot there shows. If I'm going to use the same sort of colour families,
you reuse them.
I do reuse them, yeah, until they start falling apart. So I've just put some colours there, and I can go back in, and this is one of the benefits of alcohol inks. You can go in.
Will they always be reactive?
Yes, unless you seal them.
Okay.
So if you've got something like a pouring medium, and you've got, you can cover them from there. However, once they're dry, you can stamp on top of them. They'll only react again with another alcohol ink, if that makes sense.
It does, yes, yeah.
So this side has got no blending solution on at all, and this side now looks a lot more wispy. So depending on the look you want, that's where the blending solution can help. The blending solution gives you a lot more play as well, gives you a little bit more play with your inks.
Yeah.
So you can carry on moving them around. I'm going to mix up some of that mixative in there. I'm going to put a little bit of the turquoise. I'm trying to not put too much and shake it so I can push some of the mixative out so it comes. But you only need, I mean, you really only need the smallest amount of mixative going. As you can see here, that was one drop. I'm just trying to see if you can see the gold, because the gold is beautiful.
Oh, yeah. And of course, all the colours you are using are included in the one-day special.
They're all the colours in the one-day special.
Which, by the way, very busy. 20% of the, approaching 20% of the stock has already gone.
So I'm just going to put a little bit. Now, I love this. This sunset orange has got a... it's like a perfect orange. It's got enough red and it's got enough yellow, if that makes sense. And when it mixes in, you think it should make everything go really brown, but because it's got that perfect... Oh, sorry, I like it.
Yeah.
It's like the colours were picked for me. So I keep adding blending solution to it. So I want to keep this side very fluid, and this one I'll add a little bit more blending solution. So this one, I just wanted to show that you can create two totally different backgrounds from what you want to do. Now, if I add some more blending solution to the sponge that I've got here, it
looks like marble.
It does. So the blending solution will allow you to have that more fluid look. Whereas if we just drop it on or just use a sponge, we can actually, you know, you can have a bit more detail, more mottled. If I just leave my sponge on like that, I can create a circle and the ink will push away gradually from the outside of the circle. So I'll get a nice round circle. So you can create your shapes with it. I can put my stencils on top. If I leave this to not quite be dry, but near enough dry, and then go over with it, that's when you can create the really nice, small, little, looks like crackle. You know, like if you've done the crackle effect.
Yep.
But, so that was just, you know, two different ways to actually, use them and why that they do work together. And like one drop on both sides of the gilding. Yeah. It just takes over, because that's the way the alcoholics inks are designed, that whoever arrives last is the one that stands out the most. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like, what is it, the youngest child syndrome or something like that, youngest, or the, you know. And
it's lovely for that. I mean, but I think a lot of people also think with alcohol inks that you can't, make changes and do things, but you can. I mean, I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of indigo. I just want to put a...
And of course, it is included in the one-day special. Remember, you are getting 4 colors and the mixative gold. Then you are getting the dilutions, beautiful paint pens in white and black, as well as the blending solution.
Now, the paint pens will work on top, but you really do need to let it dry. Alcohol inks dry really quickly, normally 5 to 10 seconds. However, when we do lots of layering like this, it will stay stickier, just that little bit longer. So we just need to, I put mine aside and go off and do something else, if that makes sense.
Oh, I like this spray. And by the way, you're using a blower. Do we have that? Is that in stock? Well, we're going to check it.
Yeah, the only reason I use the blower is I haven't quite mastered the heat tool or the hairdryer, and I end up, if I do lots like this would be over with you, because I would have too much gust, sort of thing. So.
I remember watching Tim Holtz when he introduced it, saying that do not ever go with a straw. You would be tempted to do it with a straw, but that's a no-no, isn't it?
Because alcohol inks have got a small amount of resin in them, and that's what seals them, and the same with the blending solution. If you're blowing with a straw, you've got the you could take it all back in. It's the same, like if the smell is too overpowering for you, people are known to wear respirators and things like that. I work in a big ventilated area and I'm fine. Absolutely. And
I mean, it's good. We are nowadays, we have got face covering, so it's always, if you are more concerned about things like that.
Right, I'm going to do that. Right, I could carry on playing with my background, so I'm just going to finish this last one and blow it over there. So I just want to add a little bit of darker. Yeah. Now the gold will mix in, and when it's dry, it'll stand out, but it's a great way, the mixative of adding a shadow.
Definitely.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the other reason I use the blower, it's the same with the hair dryers and things like that. Especially if you've got one with like a cool setting, it just dries the ink quicker. So, and because I'm working on UPO and UPO is synthetic, if I put my heat gun too close to it, it's just going to buckle. Right. So I'm just going to give this a quick blast and then it dries it.
Yeah, while Lou is drawing, let's have a look at a very busy Distress Oxides and Pick and Mix. Now, shall we look at some of the colors now? So you can pick any two, and of course you can do for multiple. So, you know, Pick of Feathers is very, very popular. It's a beautiful turquoise blue, which we would find somewhere around here. Pick of Feather, there it is. Now, of course, they are, Distress Oxides are a mix of pigment and dye, water-based, so they are water reactive. They are beautiful because of the pigment. They have got some opacity, so it will stand out on darker cards as well. You have got beautiful colors. Now think about it. Which are your favorite colors? Now, if I was me, I would go for 4. I would go for 2 sets. So I would choose. I would go for a yellow, probably mustard seed because it's very luminous and it's kind of has got the warmth. Then I would go for a pink. I would go for Pick Raspberry. I adore Pick Raspberry because it's a bright pink. The combination of both of them creates oranges, it creates reds, it creates shades, beautiful shades. That would be my option. Second option, I would go either for Mermaid Lagoon, which is a beautiful, I think it's around here, yeah. Mermaid Lagoon, there it is. It's a beautiful pure blue that has got a hint of yellow. Again, you can mix it with yellow. And then the final color I would go for a green. And probably I would go for cracked pistachio or mauve lawn, depending whether you want a more true green or a kind of a subtle green with a little bit of blue in there. The reason why I would go for those 4 is because then mixing up mauve lawn with the blue, the Mermaid Lagoon, will make it into more darker blue, darker green. Then if I mix it with the yellow, then it will be a more luminous green. That would be my option, but also think about those more muted tones. Think about the vintage photo for a darker brown. Frey Burlap, another of my favorites. Now, Frey Burlap is one of the busiest colors, and I'm not surprised. It's one of Tim Holtz' favorites ones as well. Because it's a matte brown. Hickory Smoke is a perfect gray. Weatherwood is a blue gray. Then we have got Ice Spruce, which is actually a green gray, which means actually grays are based on colors that have got white, and sometimes they have got a little bit of other colors to make it a little bit more subtle gray in a way. Then we have got Shabby Shutters, which is a very subtle green to it. You have got H Mahogany, which is a brown red or a burgundy sort of tones in here. So it depends on your favorite colors. I definitely would think to get 2 colors that if you blend them together work well. So think about colors that are more or less close to each other in the rainbow. Yellow and red will work very well and create oranges. Yellow and green also will work very well because they kind of create a variety of reds, or yellow and blue as well, creating greens. Blues and reds create purples. So that kind of, because the whole thing about Distress is also their blendability. And they blend beautifully to create another colors and interesting colors, the combinations. Now, if you want to go for the Pick and Mix, 814591 is the item number, $11.99. And you know what? Flextravaganza means that you can flexi buy. So go for 4 if you can, because then you are paying $11.99 today, and then you are going to pay $11.99 on the 1st of February. But that means that you are getting 4 dispatch, you know, I think I say pay. So you are going to get, so it is absolutely phenomenal. You are getting £3 saving as well, whether you split the cost or not. And 3 pennies as well, saving. Right, Lou, are you ready or you're still
No, I'm ready. I'm just getting my pages ready while you were doing that.
Oh, perfect.
Right, I'm just going to take my journal, and all I've done is I've taken some Pretty Gets Gritty transparent gesso, because I'm a great believer. I love making backgrounds, but I also think that, you know, we should actually do something with the backgrounds. I went through a terrible stage of just having boxes full of lovely backgrounds, and I would sit there and look at them and go, I don't want to use you. But then I think, no, we should. So I'm just going to put the lid back on that, because otherwise I'll... So I just wanted to get that ready while you were doing that. Now, we've got on the show some beautiful stamps by Diane Reevely. And I thought what we're going to do is use the background here, stamp on it. I have got some already done as well. So I'm going to
Okay, and of course we do have got those stamps available. You can see, well, we'll have a look in a second to them. Right, yeah.
Right, so I'm just going to stamp on, and I'm just going to pick. And this is, I think we get so used to using our inks, our sprays, ink pads to create backgrounds and then stamp images on, and think we can't do the same actually with alcohol ink backgrounds. And we can do exactly the same. I'm just going to stamp one or two of these. Turn that around. Okay. And we can use them and layer them exactly the same way as we would do with other backgrounds. So I love this stamp.
Oh, it's called a stripy curly cues.
Yeah.
Curly cues.
The stamps, I know Diane Reevely is also known for her doodling as well, you know, like doodling within stamps, within designs and everything like that. And I just think it's perfect. Now, I deliberately love the greens because this is, I wanted to pick this one for like leaves, as you were saying, you know, landscapes and everything like that. So, and that comes there. Okay, and I'll do one more because I have done some and I have already cut them out. So I'll just put that do that one there, just in case I need extras. You never know. Right, so if I put that, I'm going to put them over to there with the stamps. Now, bringing it back into the book, because I put clear gesso on this, I can now start using some of my alcohol inks in there. And I want to grab, there's a stencil, one of the Dina Wakley ones we've got on, and it's this beautiful stencil here. And I want to use it with my alcohol inks. And I'm going to use the same sponge as I did before, because I'm going to go for like a floral image with the stamps. I thought if I use the greens and the blues, I can then create a background that will fit with all these different floral images. It's called one of those things, you know, you've got to trust me when you see it all, you'll see what I've done. Right, so, because I've got the clear gesso, because this is cotton paper, if I hadn't put the gesso on, it would just go straight through, and on the opposite side, I'd see. So I'm just going to use my stencil and a blending tool.
Okay.
And just create a little bit of a background.
I see you can use alcohol inks through the stencil.
You
It's
can.
really cool.
And what I would do here, on this excess part here, is if you then took a, well, I'll do it on another page and show you, but it won't have gesso on it, but doesn't matter. So I just want to, and I love it because I've not put any more ink on, and yet I've near enough got a whole background done, and I haven't re-inked once. And I think that is one of the benefits of alcohol ink. So, but if I get a clean sponge, let's get a new, as you can see, and I just put some blending solution on. So I want to clean the stencil up. I know for a lot of us, we don't clean our stencils. I've got clean stencils only because I had acrylic paint all over mine.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not
Right, okay, so if I put this on here, and if I've got blending solution, I can push all the alcohol ink back, and it will clean, and then it will go inside on the stencil. And you can clean your stencil up that way.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, I'm quite happy to leave them, because if you end up putting paint on top, then it doesn't matter. So that, and you can then create another image straight away, and it cleans your stencil up at the same. So you get a bonus. It depends, you know, like, depends on what you want. But that's what I'm saying. This is without clear gesso, and it's gone through the cotton paper. And then where I've got the gesso, it's not going through. So it acts as a barrier, but it also acts like the non-porous surface, which is what we need for the alcohol inks. Now, let me see, where have I put them all? You know, when you go, I had them all.
Yeah.
Here they go. I was organised. So what I've done is I've done exactly the same here. I've created my background, and then all I've done is I've probably cut far too many. As you can see, there's the remains of my backgrounds in there. And I thought it'd be really nice to actually layer up and show using the backgrounds as we would do if we were stamping with our normal inks. So this is the stamp. So all I've done is I've stamped onto Yupo, and I've just cut it out and layered it up as you would do with anything else. So I'm just going to grab a gel medium I want to stick down with. She says in a minute I'll find one. Okay. Oh, sorry. No. There we go. That'll do for now. Okay. So I'll just use a horrible brush.
But it's water-based, so you would be able to revive the brushes, wouldn't it?
Oh, yes. I think it's the same as all of us. We forget. So I thought what we could do is use her. I'm just going to put her a little bit there. And we've got all these different images. So there's all the different... So I've gone with a little more of the botanical and the green. So on that image there, and, you know, we were talking about the paint pens?
Indeed.
When it was dry, that is the paint pens gone around the outside, to, you know, to add a little bit of extra detail. So I just want to add a little bit of a collage effect.
Indeed.
To here.
Okay.
I'm not using a palette, so I thought we could add on. Now, I know we've got some other alcohol inks on as a pick and mix as well, so I have brought in a few of those so I can add a little bit more colour. And I just want to build up a collage, because Diane Reevely is known for all her collaging. She does love her collaging. And I just wanted to go over there. And so, I mean, that's the, I think that was just a simple dot and dash with those two colours we've got, botanical and the turquoise with a little bit of the indigo. So let's build this up a bit more. And, and make this spill out. Now, I will crease these pages once they're dry. Okay. I'll just leave it like that for the moment. And we've got... That's the beautiful turquoise and the sunset orange that we've got on. Right. So you think the colours shouldn't go, but they do go beautifully.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Okay.
And just carry on building. And again, this is, we would do this sort of technique with our, you know, our inks and inks pads. So, as you know, as I said at the beginning, I think we forget that we can do so much with our alcohol inks, and we can use them just like we would do all our other techniques.
It's basically also the fact that you can create lots of backgrounds very quickly, very kind of, and then stamp it. You could die cut it as well, especially with your technique of the gesso and things like that.
Yeah, you can die cut it beautifully, and then make your panels. They make beautiful panels. But I think one of the things as well I love about it is that you can reactivate it. So if you don't like a background and you're using, you can then take a lot of it away and reactivate it and create another background. Whereas sometimes when we're using our ink pads, you can't do that quite so much.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense. So I've got quite a few bits here, and I would carry on building up bit by bit. Whoa. By bit. Oh. So as you can see, and it's nice just to, like you said, I like to make the cards with them, not just backgrounds. So,
the elements, I love how it, and I was also thinking, if you're making a gift box and you want to kind of the acetate panels as well.
Yeah, you could do.
Yeah.
Or parchment. And go on the back and stamp on top with doing it that way.
Absolutely.
So I would carry on, and I've got a few more bits and pieces. I've obviously got those bits there that I won't cut out, I'll add those in. But I have doodled, because I've allowed these to dry, I have doodled on with the white pens. Yeah. And they've gone over the alloys and the mixatives perfectly. Okay. So, sorry. I will stop there, because I would keep going and going and going, and I will add in the other bits. But it was just to show that, you know, we could still do, if I move those,
Perfect. Thank you so much for showing those different techniques that you can do. Over 20% of the one day special has already gone. Now, what are you getting here? Well, you are getting 4 colors of alcohol inks, and they last forever. Well, not forever. That's an exaggeration, but I have had mine, some of the colors, since they were launched years ago, and for maybe 10 years, and I still got them and I still use them, and they last a long time. Then you have got the mixative as well in here. You are getting the alcohol blending solution. Now, I want to say one thing. Don't be afraid to, do you know that there is another set that has got alcohol blending solution? That's the one thing that I go through the most, the alcohol blending solution. That is the one that you want to have the most. Then you have got also the dilutions pens, the white and the black. They are really like an acrylic pen, so they have got, it's a pure white and a pure black that kind of, you can do splatters, and of course once that the alcohol inks have dried, you can add some highlights, and I adore this sample here because you can see how the pen will stand out. But this is very important, it's when the alcohol inks are dried. The very busy for the, of course, the one day special. Now, £29.99 is the price, saving £11. 807035 is your item number. Then we have got the ink packs, ink pad. It's just like my teeth, you know. Now, of course, we have got the set of here, the tumble glass and the crackling campfire with the distress marker. Now, this one you are getting both of the, well, all 3 of them for £13.98, saving £5. 659641. Remember that the crackling campfire is one of the 2020 brand new colors. Then we have got the alloys alcohol inks, different than the mixative, so perfect add-on to the one day special. Here you are getting a statue, mined and gilded. £15.99 is the price, saving £6. 770201. Then I'm trying to go as fast as I can. I'm just like boo, 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 boo. Then we have got the distress oxides. 20% of the stock gone for this bundle. It's a really lovely bundle, having 2 browns. Well, or you have got Frey burlap, which is one of the most popular ones, and then you are getting vintage photo, which is the darker tones. Then you are getting peacock feathers and bundled sage. £20.04 with a saving of £10. And of course, remember, you can flexify courtesy of the Flextravaganza. 675741 is your item number. Moving on to these Pegamix. Frey burlap is limited stock in this Pegamix. So if that's the color you wanted, please do check out your baskets out. Otherwise, you will miss out on that option of colors. Choosing simpler as whichever color calls your name, or if you want it to be, just choose 2 colors that kind of will work together. Blues and greens work very well, yellow and blues creating greens, and so on and so forth. Is your choice of, you have got a massive range here to choose from. £11.99 is your price, saving £3.03. Moving on to the bundle with alcohol. This is the alcohol ink, lift ink, and of course this is a felt pad, already ink, although it looks transparent, that is designed to work to lift up when you stamp onto alcohol ink backgrounds, and then stamp again that ink that is on the stamp at the minute, and then transfer it to another background. You are getting the alcohol blending solution as well. As I mentioned earlier, that's one of the things that having 2, even if you have gone for the one day special, having 2 of them makes sense. Now you are getting also the mixative in the pearl. So that with any color, it will add that luster and transform your alcohol inks into pearlescent, slightly opaque colors, because of course the alcohol inks are completely transparent, but when you add mixatives, you bring in opacity to them. 770271 is your item number, £17.99. Now, if you want to complete your alcohol ink bundle, well, you can. Here we have got, well, you're choosing any 2, and I'm trying to figure out how many choices you have got. I believe is 36, because there are 12 here, so I'm kind of quick maths. I would think that about 36 different choices. You choose any 2 that you like. Again, I would choose colors that you are drawn to. So if you like pinks and purples, go for a pink and a purple. If you like green and red, go for that. The beauty of the alcohol inks is that they react and they blend in a very very different way of other inks. So to go for whatever colors calls your name. £10.99 is your price. 115318 is your item number. Then moving on, we have got the stamps that Lou was using from Diane Ripley, and they are red rubber cling foam mounted, ready to be used, deeply edged, and you have got 4 different options. The one that I'm holding is stripy, what was it? It was a really kind of circle, curly cues, curly edge. Then we have got the, I think this one is, let's have a look. This one is, oh, Maisie Lily. And then we have got the, oh, this is so, the Tide's the Limit. And then finally we have got foliage fillers. It's really hard to read it from back to front, I have to say. £22.99 is the price for one of them. Now you have got a £5 saving. 266325 is your item number. Lou, are you ready?
I am. Right, I thought, sorry, I've got all my inks ready to go. I'm hoping to see. Now, I thought what we'd do is I've got a piece of acetate here. And this is from packaging.
Right.
Because waste not, want not. We do get a lot of it. And all I'm doing is I've got one of the Dina Wakley stencils. And this is meant to be speech bubbles. You know, so you could put speech. If you were doodling, you could put speech inside it. But if we turned it that way, to me, it looks like raindrops.
I absolutely thought they were raindrops.
So it's got multiple uses. I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to take some of the transparent texture paste, which is we had this not so long ago. It was like the taster pots that we can do, and I'm just going to put over on my stencil.
Okay.
And being acetate, I'm being very. I should have got my stamp platform out and just held it down with magnets, but hey. So I'm just going to do that, and I'm being very conscious. I don't want it to go and slide across absolutely everywhere. Right, now I've got a little bit of it down. I can put a bit more. I know we could put tape down, but I always seem to forget after I start.
Yeah. It's just going to sometimes
you know, when you just go, why didn't I put tape down, or use magnets, or...
well, you know, sometimes we live dangerously as crafters.
I think also you have an idea.
Yes.
And you just want to do the idea, and then
before it goes away, before you forget.
Oh, I know that feeling very well, I can tell you. Right, so I'm just going to, I want to cover all of it. We go there. So I'm just trying to make sure that I've covered all the bits of the stencil. Normally it wouldn't bother me, but I just want to make sure I have in this instance, and I'll explain why. I'm just going to put that in water and get it out of the way. Now, I want to use, and I want to put the alcohol inks within the actual texture of the gel gloss, because it's now a plastic surface, it's a non-porous surface. So what I want to do is I just want to drop some of the drops in there. And it looks a little bit random. And there we go. It's very quite therapeutic as well, I must admit. You know, you go, Yeah. This is when I wish we didn't have a screen, because I would hand you something and go, can you hold this bit for me while I don't do this bit for me? But we can't do that.
It's just, you know, of course we take it seriously.
Yeah, we do. That's what I'm saying. In normal circumstances, I'd go, why I'm doing this? Could you hold this? Right, I've got the pearl that we've got from the Lift It.
Of course.
Now, the pearl is a mixative. So the mixatives are designed to mix with the alcohol inks. And now, the difference between this and the pearl alcohol inks, if you've got, the pearl alcohol inks have got, have I got one with me?
By the way, we're very busy for this bundle. If you wanted 40% of the stock has already gone. You are getting the alcohol mixative, the pearl, which of course Lou is going to be using now. You're getting the alcohol blending solution and the alcohol lift ink.
Right, I mean, the reason this is different, so this is an alcohol pearl, and the pearls were designed that the colour of the translucent dye, the mica matched.
Okay.
So when you poured it, it gave it that way. Now, this is totally different. This is a white. It won't match with anything, and if you, so it will actually, when it dries, it leaves a slight white glow to things, if that makes sense. It's lovely.
It is.
It's great on dark cards if you do it that way. Right, so I just want to put a little bit of this in as well. And it's not going to really show what I'm hoping for. It's one of those things, you know, you have to... So,
Oh, I like that.
So we're going to do it like that. And you can see it's starting to sparkle. And because it's on the gel medium, I'm not going to add any blending solution or anything like that to it. But I am just going to move these out of the way because I do need... But I'm being really good and working out my lids. Because I've got some card. Now, this is from the 7 Day Savers, the watercolour card. And I want to use this as my mop-up. So this is where I'm going to hope I haven't made too much mess. Right, so I want to take that away. Now, that is on my acetate.
Wow.
So if you bear with me, I'm just going to put this on here.
Yeah.
Like that quickly, and then I can lift the acetate, and then that on there, and then I will do something with that in a moment.
Yeah.
So that now is on acetate.
Right.
But because it's a transparent gel gloss, it means it will dry clear. Yeah. And what happens then is, I'll move that there, we'll let that dry.
Yeah.
I'm
By
just
the way,
going to
we
quickly...
have got about 4 minutes.
Oh, okay, I've got one done.
I love that demo because it shows how different it can look. It's just not, you know, it's just one of those things that I only think alcohol inks, you put paper, maybe acetate, maybe Duralar, but then suddenly it's like mediums and you can then...
But, so I'm just going to... I've sandwiched what we've just done in one place. And I'm using it, I'm not using it on Yupo, I'm using it on the watercolour card from the 7 Day Saver.
Yeah.
Because when I get that pattern there. So in this here, I have got trapped alcohol ink within the gel medium. So that will dry clear. I can go over the top of that and reactivate it in the morning. So I've got one background there. I will clean this. And then I've got that really lovely subtle background there.
Yeah.
So I'll just put that over there and, you know, go, where shall I file that? Let's file it here. So, in good Blue Peter fashion, this is what it looks like when it's dry.
Oh.
So if I get a white piece, so it goes completely, if I grab that bit in, so it starts off like that, so that's your gel medium. When your gel medium's dry, it actually...
Wow, that's so cool.
It actually encapsulates the alcohol ink within it. Now, that alcohol ink is trapped within that gel medium.
So it wouldn't react?
It won't react. But if I wanted to, I could go over with alcohol ink on top of this and treat it like a glass surface. And we could then create something totally different again.
So you could kind of, like, that's preserved, that's encapsulated. Yeah. So then if we put another layer, that would be reactive to the next layer. So
yeah, so if I put...
Super cool. That's just really cool. By the way, we have got 3 minutes left. Okay. And also, we do. I need to tell you that a quarter of the stock of the 1 Day Special has gone. If you want yours, please do check out your basket.
Right, so I've got to just put a little bit of alcohol ink. Let's put a piece of white card on underneath. So as you can see there, and I'm going to try my hardest, because you can use it and just use a paintbrush to put it around the outside. So you can still, I can still paint with it. And I can still keep the translucent effect of it, because this is also a non-porous surface, the acetate. So I can still keep my drops.
I see.
And then I could colour my background. Now, if I didn't want that to go on this gel medium, all I need to do is turn it over the opposite side. And if I really wanted to, I can go to town a little bit, because I could leave the drops you know, with it all nicely suspended in.
Okay.
I will put it under white here. And I've just put some, and I just want to move this round a little bit. And I'm just going to do a drippy technique because they're drip drops, not because of any other reason in my head. Now we could do a blending sponge if we wanted to. And I'm just going to quickly dry it with the blower so I can put it on a piece of card to show you.
Okay, we have got a minute left.
Okay, well, dry.
We are very busy, so please do check out your baskets. Remember, a quarter of the stock of the 1 Day Special has already gone in the first hour. It should last 24 hours, but who knows? Look at that.
So you can now, if I wanted to, I can create a watercoloured background. I've still got some of the translucent drops, so you can build on the background, or you could leave it as the clear drops and use it as a shaker, you know, put a stamped image. To me, you know, just a simple rainbow or just a simple greeting.
Absolutely.
But I've also then got these two backgrounds that I can still work on, and this
Absolutely, it's incredible. Thank you, Lou, so much. You are back. Well, we are back together at 8 o'clock, so we will see more techniques, I'm sure. Yeah. And now I have to say, Lou always blows my mind because she takes something that I know how to use, and then she's like, no, you don't know how to use it. This is what you can do, and this is what you can do, and this is what you can do. So all her inspirational demos are going to be incredible, not to be missed. So please stay tuned for 8 o'clock. But also do check out your baskets. Alcohol inks is an amazing, fun medium to play with. As long as you have got non-porous surfaces, even with the gel mediums, then you have got those perfect surfaces. Don't forget the distress oxides. Very busy for those ones. Check out your baskets. Thank you, Lou. We'll see you at 8. Stay tuned because Yanis and Andy from Crafty UK are after the break. Stay tuned for more Flextravaganza.